So thank you all for joining. I'm going to start this demo of Beesy using my web account. So I hope that everybody can actually have a look at my browser that should be displayed. If you have a problem with that, again, ask questions or use a chat box or just tell me so that I can make sure everything is okay. But it should be okay. So I'm right now connected on my real account. You can see here it's dch david.chevedment@bizapps.com. It's my real BusyMe account, and this is my own BusyMe with all my actions and my different tabs. I will start the webinar by explaining you the main concept when we designed the tool and how Busy makes you more efficient every day and what's our key benefits. And then I will go over the full demo explaining you the main workflow of the app and how you should use Busy for starting with it. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. We made a strong assumption when we designed Busy. We made an assumption that most of your actions will come when you meet people, whether it's project reviews, executive committee, customer meetings, brainstorming session, one-on-one meeting with one of your colleagues, whether it's team meetings. Each time you have this kind of meeting, which can, for some of you, represent up to 50 or 60% of your time, you're taking actions, you're taking decisions, and you're getting those actions and decisions into notes. And it takes you a lot of time to track all those actions and decisions from all those meetings. You put that in meeting minutes, track this as action items in a task management system, build a project review from all those actions from different project meetings. It takes a very long time. It's a process that you're making probably every day, and every day you're losing time doing that. So when we design Busy is a task management and project management system. When we designed Busy, we took this into consideration and we said to ourselves, how can we make this more efficient for people who have this kind of problem, being in meetings? So we designed Busy with something in mind: is let's help people get organized while they're having their meetings, so that when they go out of the meeting, they can send instant meeting minutes, they can track and update their action, delegate their action to other people right from the meeting, so that it's very easy for you to follow up on your actions, update them, and be more efficient with that task management. Okay, that's what Busy is about. And to do this, we've designed Busy around several tabs. I will tell you about them. We have a dashboard tab that lets you browse your actions by due date. So here I can find all about my actions by due date. I have a note tab that lets you create actions directly from your meetings. I have an action tab that will let you browse and track all your actions by type of action. For example, give me all the calls I need to do for tomorrow. That's something you can very quickly ask to Busy. Then you have the people tab, which will let you browse actions that you assign to each one of your team member, for example. And you can very easily check all open action for someone in Busy. And then you have the project tab that lets you browse all your actions by project. And the project is something that you will define on your own so that you can have your own view on things in Busy. And to do all this, it's very simple actually to get organized with Busy. You just have to take your notes. So how do we do that? It's very simple. We go in the Notes tab. And why are we different than other systems out there on the market, than other task management and project management system out there on the market? It's because we design a system to take notes as a collection of action items. And what is an action in Busy? It's a piece of information that you want to be able to reuse, track, update after the meeting, right? Traditional note-taking system, the note is a global thing in itself. The content is not known to the note-taking system. The content is a global thing, and you and only you can understand what's inside, and you need to use your brain to process information, find out about the actions and decisions that you took during those notes, and do the work yourself. When we designed Busy, we said, okay, let's make sure you don't do this all the time with Busy. Let's make sure you take notes using action items directly, so that you can actually reuse the information right from the end of the meeting. So how do we do that? Very simple. We create a note like this, and I will do a demo note like that. You can assign this to a project, but you don't need to do this as soon as you start with Beesy. You can do this afterwards. The most important thing in Beesy is make sure you take notes using Beesy. So I'm creating this demo note. I'm entering an edit note mode where I have the project I've been assigning the note to. Some topics. Topics are basically the agenda items you want for the meeting. Participants are the people who attend the meeting, of course. And there are a list of action items that you can add to your note. So an action items can be, of course, a task. That's the most obvious one. But for us, an action item can be a comment as well. A comment for us is just an action that you want to keep track of as a record the information, but there's no date tracking on it. We can let you add calls, can add documents, emails, deadlines, ideas, questions, pictures, pretty much everything that is a single piece of information and that you want to be able to reuse at some point. So I will start by creating my note. And it's very easy and busy. You don't have to care about topics and about participants at the beginning. It's very simple. You just add new action items. So for example, I will add a comment and I say the webinar, the demo webinar started. All participants are there. Okay, and at some point during the conversation, David explained about the Beesy concepts like that. And at some point during the meeting, I might want to add some actions I want to track. For example, I can add a task like this by just clicking on a task and say send a Beesy presentation to all participants. When I added a task, what Beesy did is that it activated tracking on the task, so I'm able to set a due date, for example, for sending you a presentation. I want to send this for, let's say, Friday, and by default, it's assigning it to me, but I can change that and define someone else to act on it. I have a list of contacts there. And there is a status that says this is not completed yet, okay? And the demo goes on, so I can add, I keep logging contextual information. So comments are definitely what would be your standard note-taking system for contextual information, for referencing what's being said and done by different people in the meeting. Yeah? I'm keep logging contextual information like that. And at some point, I might want to add more tasks. For example, I might call all participants for feedback. Very simple, like that. And I'm adding things. I might add, for example, a document as well. Send like this. And to actually add a document, I'm pressing this button, and I'm adding a file like that. And I could, for example, add a screen capture like that. It's adding the document, and I can save that. And there is a paperclip here, so that I'm sure that I've logged my my attachment, my document to my note. Okay, send this presentation to I don't know, Carol, for example, and still me. And I can add things and things like that. Let's say I had a question. This is a question. How to add a document to Beesy. Okay, that's by basis. Or I can have an idea as well. Investigate idea. Read this article on. Oops, sorry. This article on how to be more productive using Beesy. Okay. And I can go on like that and still add comment. This is the end of my note. Okay. Well, I could keep on adding things like that. Basically, what I've done like here is it's much like using your paper notebook and adding paragraphs and paragraphs of different kind of actions. You might do the same on paper actually. You add paragraph of information, and sometimes when you see a paragraph that's meant to be to be actually an action to track. You might add a checkbox close to it, might add the initials of the person close to it to keep track of the information and visually see that you have something to track and do. It's the same in Beesy. That's what we do. It's a collection. The note is a collection of paragraph of text. Some of them are just raw text, like you would do in an email client or on your note paper. Some of them are trackable actions, right, where you define due dates, set honor, and have a status. What's the benefit of doing this? When you've done this, you've done the most difficult thing to do with Beesy. You've structured your notes while you were taking it. It's very much like doing it on paper, except you have to do it using Beesy. That's why it's the most difficult thing, is because you have to stop using your paper or your current way of taking notes, and you need to use Beesy. That's the only difficult thing, because the concept is very simple. And once you have done this, you're already organized, because all of this information will be reusable everywhere else in Beesy without you adding anything to the information you already typed. The first thing you will get is instant meeting minutes. How will you do that? It's very simple. You have an export button here. Keep watching at this little icon, because it will be reusable everywhere in Beesy as well. It's the export button. And when you click export to mail, it generates directly the meeting minutes with the title, the date, company logo if you did put some for your account, which I did, the agenda, participants, which are empty right now because I did not do anything, summary of your actions, and the list of action I took. Okay, so everything I said and wrote is there already. Actions are labeled with checkbox and everything, so that you have a nicely professional meeting minutes in just a click. It's still, at the moment, a raw collection of action items. It's structured by actions, so you can identify pieces of information you want to be able to reuse, but it's still unstructured in the way you structure the information. I will show you how in 10 seconds you can very easily reorganize your notes. So how will you do that? I will start to add agenda topics by clicking on the plus button next to topics, and I would say, okay, let's say one demo topic. Again, I'm not changing the project, and let's say an action plan topic. And by simple drag and drop, so I will take some actions, and move them over to the topic, I will reorganize my note. You can see below here the demo topic that's been like this and like this. And so now I have a list of action inside demo. I have a list of action inside action plan. So let's say, okay, this is a question that I will put in my action plan. It's moving in the action plan. I can move things around like that inside a single topic. Okay, I can move topics around as well, and I will suppress this one. Just delete this topic. Okay, so I have a simple note with two agenda items, one which is a demo and another one which is the action plan. And the good thing about Beesy is that your one-click meeting minutes is still working. So if I'm clicking on export by mail, everything now is updated according to my agenda, and everything is in the correct order in the correct agenda. I've done nothing but just click, okay, and drag and dropping a few things. I will add some participants. So let's, for example, add, let's see if I have Carol. No, might not have Carol, so I will add Carol. Like this, Carol Jones. Okay, CGO, like that. I won't send an invite. And I will add Carol to the meeting. So Carol is now a participant to the meeting, and I will show you how I can very easily assign my actions while I'm taking my notes. So each time I'm adding a new action to a topic, by default, it's assigned to me, like you see here. I can very easily assign it to someone else by just clicking on the button here and find, for example, Carol here and clicking on Carol. And there you see that the initials for the person has changed to mine, DCH, to CGO for Carol, okay? But there's much easier and much faster, much quicker for you to do when you're taking notes. Because when you're taking notes, you don't want to spend time doing all this. You want to be very fast, spot on what you need to record. So I can directly assign actions to Carol by just dragging Carol's item here onto one of the action, for example. And you can see it's moving to Carol. Or I can do the other way around. Move this to Carol. Okay?
Yeah, it's good.
So it's very simple, very effective, because if you have your participants ready at the beginning of the meeting, you can very quickly assign actions to people while you're taking your notes, not losing any time. Small difference on the iPad here. You can do everything I did on the web on the iPad as well. The only difference is you're not clicking around and dragging things with your mouse. Of course, you're doing this with your fingers, but you need to use two fingers to drag and drop things around. So you just put two fingers on the cell and move it around. Okay, but the same thing will work. You can move with your two fingers on a topic. You can move with your two fingers on a person. It works as well. Again, I'm showing it just for the purpose of showing you that everything is updated in real time. Your professional meeting minutes are there. So still there and updated. So Carol has appeared in the list of participants, and Carol has appeared in the summary report. So I know exactly what she has to do. And of course, Carol has appeared and our initial as well in the list of actions to do. Okay?
Yeah.
Basically, I've shown you the entry point of Beesy. If you have a lot of meetings every day, that's where you should start with Beesy, because by doing this, you end up at the end of the meeting with something already structured and all your actions already into Beesy and ready to be actionable. That's the most difficult part of it. Everything I would show you after is kind of coming for free from the work you did of taking your notes using Beesy. What do I mean by for free? I mean that you will be able to browse, track, and update all those action items without adding any more information to the system. How do you do that? For example, I want to know all calls I have to make or that someone has to make for me. Very easy. I'm going to the Action tab, like this. And here I have the list of all actions type where I have an open action. So I will go to call, and if I'm going on call, Beesy will actually show me all the actions I took to call people. So for example, this one I can remove. I can remove this one as well. And I can see, you can see here that I have the call I assigned to Carol. It's there. And the good thing is, okay, Carol needs to call, but she told me she'll be late, so she'll probably call on Monday. Okay, so I move it on Monday, right? And finally, on Monday, I'm checking the action, and it's done. So I'm checking it. Okay. The good thing about Beesy, it's whatever you do in every view, it will be always up to date in real time everywhere. So if I'm going back to my notes that I took, the code is now checked here. Okay. So everything you do it just once in Beesy. Okay, so I've added this call into my note. I said to Carol she needed two calls. She made the call, and I've updated this in the action tab, and it's updated everywhere. And of course, my export is taking this into account as well. So it's very easy for me at the next meeting to prepare my meeting, because I will know exactly which action will still be open. Okay, the action tab is really it's for workflows where you need to get things done by some other people. For example, give me the list of all emails I need to make. Give me the list of all meetings I need to organize. Okay, or me or my assistant. If you have an assistant, for example, and in a meeting you had a meeting action type, you can perfectly, very easily send this to your assistant. So how do you do this? So I want to send all meetings I need to organize to my assistant, so that she organizes the meetings. It's very simple. I'm going there on the action tab, clicking on meeting, and I will use this export button here by just clicking on it and say export to mail. And instead of creating a meeting minutes for my note, it will create a list of meeting to organize with the date of the export, who needs to organize it, and the list of information to actually organize the meeting. Okay, very easily. So, and I can just say, can you take care of this for me, please? Thank you. Okay, very easy. By doing this, I've actually taken care of sending my list of meeting to organize to someone else so that he can act on it, and things are being done. Okay?
David, may we ask questions?
For sure, please.
How does it signify that you've passed that action on to someone else? How would you know that's been done?
Okay. Here I've just set them to myself. If I would do assign this to my assistant, for example, I would have assigned this to my assistant. Okay?
Right, and that it would change it there, would it?
Exactly. It will change it there so that it will actually not show me, but my assistant, of course. Here I just explain the workflow, but normally you would assign this to your assistant to know that it's not you who need to do that, but your assistant. It's a good way. It's a good way to say it. Let's say, Carol, for the sake of the demo, that you're my assistant, for example. I will assign you, and it's good to know. I will assign you one of the meetings, for example. So one way to find the meetings I need to send you is going there, of course. But another way to find actions I will assign to someone is using the People tab. And again, it's coming for free. I'm going to the People tab here. And I have a list of people that have an open action here. And I will find you, so Carol. And I can perfectly have a look of everything, every action I've been assigning to you. You need to send a presentation to participants. You need to investigate one idea, and you need to organize this meeting. Very easy, okay? And I can directly send you again using this export button here, export to mail. I can send you all the list of actions you have to do for me. Okay.
That's good.
And of course, if I am seeing you, okay, let's say we have a one-on-one meeting and we have a morning meeting together, and I say, okay, Carol, can you organize this for me and this? And you say to me, okay, but the meeting I already organized it, and I did already send the presentation. Great, I know what you have to do. It's just this, okay? And when I go over to my notes again, everything is in sync. So the presentation you sent, I know that you've already sent it because we tracked it together and I updated there, okay? So when I see someone in my team, please, sorry, I finish and then you can have your question. When I see someone in my team, I don't need to create a note for that. I can perfectly just browse his contact details and have access to all action I've been adding to him. One little thing here, Beesy is a task management system. So that means you don't need to create notes to add actions. You can see here, I'm on Carol, contact details. I still have my action item there, so I can still add things for Carol. If I'm clicking on task here, I can perfectly add a task. It's a new task for Carol. It's outside of any note, right? So I can perfectly use Beesy as a regular task management system. There's no issue about that. It's like any other task management system. Okay, someone had a question. Okay, sorry. Can we work, Marisol? Can we work with Beesy by using an Android mobile phone? Well, you can use an Android mobile phone, tablet phone. I would say it's rather small. You can use this web service on any Android device, but you have to be connected online. Other question? No? I can keep going?
Looks like it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Can we chat? Sorry. Yeah, sorry. Marisol, yeah, you have the sound now. You can directly talk.
Okay.
Hello?
And we chat and the team chat between each other using Beesy?
Sorry?
And the team chat
Yes?
between each other by using Beesy?
No, only me or only me is seeing the. Can you chat on the system?
Yes.
No, the system is definitely not. Okay, the system is not meant to manage chit chat stuff to discuss together. It's not definitely not that. The system is really meant to manage your task and projects and track your actions. So it's definitely not how would you call that a social corporate network where you can chit chat and discuss things together. It's not meant for that. It's really meant to make sure you act on the important things for you, and you track those actions.
Okay. And is Beesy suitable with Outlook or compatible with Outlook?
It's compatible with Outlook if you have an iPad. We have an export and a synchronization tool on the iPad that you can activate, so that actually you can synchronize your actions taken on Beesy to your reminders app on the iPad, which will sync with Outlook as well.
Okay.
So
That's awesome.
and it's both ways. That means that every actions created in Beesy will be synced to Outlook. If you update those actions in Outlook, it will be updated in Beesy. Okay?
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
No problem. No problem. Okay, so I'm continuing my demo. So this is based on people. I will show you that you can actually browse actions by date. It's very easy. You go on the dashboard, and you on the dashboard is organized so that you select a time period there, a from date and a to date, and it's showing you all the actions you have to do for this time period, right? So this is a question I took during our note, and I can update it here. I can move things around as well, like that, so that I can organize my actions. It's a famous time management matrix that's called the Eisenhower matrix, which try to organize things by important things, which are things you take you are caring for, and non-important things, and the level of urgency of the task. Okay, you can set this up very easily for a task, either by drag and dropping things around like that, or whenever you take your notes. Sorry, let's go back here. Whenever you take your notes or add an action, I did not talk about this little icon here at first when I added it, but it's very simple. It's the position of the action in the matrix. Okay, so it's cycling by clicking on it. I'm cycling the position in the matrix. So for example, here it's in the upper left quadrant. And you can see that if I'm going to see this action, I should see it in there. Sell presentation to Carol is now there. Okay, very simple. I can check actions for other people as well. So for example, I could check actions for Carol, and I think you have actions, yeah, for the 20th. Okay. This is very simple for you. It's a simple view to organize either your day. So you can check actions for today. So Carol has no action for today, and David, let's go back to me. Like this. I have only one action to do today. Okay, or you can plan your week in advance, for example, by selecting 1 week in advance, and you can see very easily what you have to do for the next few days. Okay, that's all of this. As you have seen during my demo, I did not do anything to have those view enabled. I just took my notes, and everything went there correctly without me doing anything, just setting the date and the owner of the action. I will show you now how you can structure your view on actions the way you want using the Projects tab. And it's very easy. In Beesy, we have implemented a 2-level hierarchy so that you can build your own views. The first level of the hierarchy is a goal. A goal is what you're trying to achieve, either professionally or personally, and that's what you see in green here. So I have a to-do goal. It's kind of the general to-do list of things I have to do. I have a quarter priorities goal. I have a sales goal. I have a development goals and stuff like that. Okay, and I have a Salesforce goal, but that's another topic. And inside these goals, you define. Sorry, I will switch you off, Marcel. Inside those goals, you define projects. Projects are means or ways to achieve those goals. So, for example, in my quarter priorities, I have a few bugs to solve. I have some analytics to run. I have some current product features I want to develop. I have Livescribe development, Salesforce development I want to tackle. And when I click over a project, it will list me every action I added to Beesy, whether in a note or directly to the project, that's related to the project I clicked on. Okay, so I can see all actions taken in this Livescribe project. So you can see there's a bunch of action for me, a bunch of action for someone named Jean-Charles, and there are also some actions with this green stuff here. That's actually because at BizApps we're using Beesy in a team mode. So those actions were created not by me but by my associate Christopher. That you can see CME are his initials. And he assigned them to me, so that's appearing in green to say to me, okay, that's important that someone assigned you an action directly into Beesy. So he probably took some notes on his account, assigned the action to me, and it went directly in mine. Okay, but let's not cover this too much. Let's finish on the project. So how do you create a project inside Beesy? Very simple. You create there, click the plus sign here, and let's say, let's add a webinar project like that. Okay, I will add this to the to-do goal so that it's actually much easier for me. It's appearing at the top of my list here. So here you get the webinar project. I still have no action inside, of course, because I did not link anything to that. I could very, very easily add action there. Start by adding action by adding a task there. So this is a standalone action. Task. Let's say task. I can add a call. Okay, call supplier for quotation, for example, and I can undo my project here. So as long as I create my project here, I can start to add action there. It's very easy, and I just need to add those actions. And every time I'm adding a type of action here, they're still available anywhere in the other tabs, except of course the notes, because they're not depending on a note. Okay. Quick thing, the export thing is still working, so I can already do a project review in one click. So I have my webinar project and only David is concerned, and there are 2 actions in this project. But the good thing with Beesy is that you can automatically assign notes to projects so that you can consolidate actions coming from several notes into a project. So for example, I will, you remember this demo note that I created at the beginning of the webinar. I will change by clicking on the little pen icon here. Every time you want to edit something in Beesy, you just click on the icon left to its name. So I'm clicking here, and I will change this project to webinar project. Let's say this one. Okay. And here you go. Everything is in there. So I consolidate both the standalone action and the call for quotation here, and the actions from my notes. So it's just one note. So I will quickly add a second note so that we can start to build a real project review. So I will add a note. Let's say I'm going to a supplier meeting because I have for this project a supplier that's working with me, and I will create that. Okay. And I can start, we'll really create quick task. So let me know if this is still understandable. So I will add, for example, get project planning for rollout, let's say, and get document for quality testing, for example. It's I'm adding a bunch of examples. If it's not meaningful, just tell me, but I guess it's sufficiently generic so that you understand. When I did this, everything went directly into the correct project. So that meant that this webinar project, I have those new actions. Get project planning for rollout, get document for quality testing. They're all in there, right? So basically what the project view is doing is that it's building me across my nodes, across my actions that I can add directly to the project. It's building me a global project view for me so that I can track actions for this specific project just in a single place. Whether or not I have 2,000 actions inside Beesy, I'm sure that when I click on webinar project, I will have a restricted view on just the actions that are meaningful for this project. So it's very convenient to have a quick glimpse on what I need to do on this project. And again, if I'm clicking on the export button, very easy for me to have a project review of everything about the project. Of course, I can start to update things around like that. And next time I go there, I just have the open actions. Okay? So
That's good, but you keep the old ones. Yeah.
But yeah, of course, they're still there. If I click there, they will appear. So I know exactly what's been completed on the project. And of course, I can export that. Huh? Okay. So if you want to do a project review for a specific week, 1 week, you just export that and you have a list of completed items. Okay, I've just shown you, it's been 35 minutes. I've been explaining how to use the main workflow of Beesy. So let's summarize what we said. You organize in Beesy by taking your notes during your meetings if you have a lot of them, right? From this, you get your instant meeting minutes, and you can very easily drag and drop things around to organize your notes. From your notes, you will get all your actions and decisions that you can browse, track updates from different view angles, whether the due date, the type of the action, the person, and the project, because you understand about the project. And every time in those views, you're able to export the view and the exact list of items you're seeing on the screen so that you can actually do people review in one click, project review in one click, send a list of an action type in one click, and plan your week in just a few clicks. Okay, that's all coming from just taking a single note. But this is a recurrent process, right? Most of the time on a project, you will go in a meeting, and 2 weeks from your first meeting, you will probably have a follow-up meeting. So we've implemented this recurrent cycle of things in Beesy as well, so that when you go in a note, for example, our demo note, let me check if I have still an open action. Okay, I will get just one action left open. So let's say at the end of 2 weeks after this note, we're doing all together a quick check on where we are on this meeting. So I can go in my note, of course, but what I can do to prepare my next meeting with you is very simple. I will create a note, but instead of creating a blank note here, add a new note, I will create from a previous note. And by selecting my previous note as being the demo note we had together, demo note follow up, okay, what Beesy will do is that it will recreate everything that we've said and the contextual information we had during this meeting. So the topics, the participants, and it will directly recreate just a following open action. So I know it's the only thing left to be done from what we said earlier on. And it's very easy for me to send you a preparation agenda. I'm going to export by mail, and I hit the follow up. And I can perfectly send this agenda for tomorrow. Please update us on open action. Okay? And I'm sending this to all participants. If I would added an email to Carol, it would be added there automatically by the system. Okay? Very easily, I can prepare my work. Some of you might say, yeah, but when I send preparation emails to people for a meeting, I'd like that we have actions that have been done. That's okay, very easily, because you have been making this note as a following note. Here you can see there is a small arrow in the corner, and you can click on it, and what Beesy will do, it will load the previous note. You see, demo note. So that basically what Beesy is doing is that it's building a list of your notes and piling them together so that you can browse the history of those following notes. Okay, so I can perfectly prepare my agenda item from there as well. So I can check here, export by mail, and say, okay, this is what we've achieved, and this is what's left to be done. The agenda for the next meeting is there. Okay, very easily. Again, a single click, and I can go back here to my new note. If I make a third one, I can go from the last note to the previous one and to the former one again. Okay, so what Beesy will do, if you have, for example, over 6 months, you go in 10 or 15 different meetings that are following each other, it will build a dedicated notebook of all those notes so that you can very easily browse them by just clicking there. Okay, you don't have to go through all your list and find them by date. Beesy is making the link for you. Okay. Very important. So that's a topic for recurring meetings, and with this you can very easily track and follow up on your meetings. Okay, works for customer meetings. It works for executive committee. Very easy here for example, if you have executive committees, to track actions and make sure that actually what you've decided in the executive committee is actually done, because otherwise it will spill out in the next meeting notes. So it's a very good way of looking at things that are piling up. It works as well for customer meetings, individual meetings as well. Very easy to check on someone if someone is actually closing some actions. Okay. So now, if you remember, if you have questions, you just tell me. If you have some questions while I'm talking.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, if you remember when I started, I said we made a strong assumptions. Most of your actions will come from your meetings. I lied when I say that because we know it's not true. We know that a lot of your actions will be coming from meetings in the broadest sense as possible. But a whole lot of actions will also be coming from emails, right? I don't know if it's a case for you, but many people out there have actions coming from their emails. You receive probably dozens, if not hundreds, of actions every day, of emails every day in your mailbox, and some of them you want to track. And most people they use their mail client to track actions. And how do they do that? Some of you might mark them as unread and say every unread stuff is something I have to do. Well, not very convenient. I would say it's a very simple way to classify things in your mailbox. Some of them are using flags, colored flags to do that. So some of them will do red, green, orange flags. That's very convenient because you set a flag on something, and then you have to track and update the color of the flag manually, which most of people are not doing. And the other issue as well is that when you have 100 red flags in your mailbox, well, red flags is not helping anymore, right? It's too many of them, so you start to lose focus on actions. So what we design is Beesy, in addition to actually helping you get organized by taking your notes, is actually a mail to task system where you can track and set a tracking from your mails directly from your mailbox. So how do you do that? It's very simple. On your BusyMe account, if you click on yourself, you can see that I have here an email. Each one of us has a personal email inside BusyMe. And this email lets you send emails to the platform so that you can track them. Okay? So what I did is I actually added this, I downloaded this contact, added it to my contact list, which you should do as well. And I added it very simply to something that I called Beesy. Okay? Why did I do this? It's very simple. It's because when I actually am in my email system, and I'm starting again, it's very easy, you will see. Sorry about this time for loading up my email. Okay, and let's me go up all the way. Okay, and I have, for example, let's say this stuff that I want to transfer to my BusyMe. So what I'll do is I transfer this. Okay, and by transferring this, I will keep only this. Well, no need for the content. It's just for the purpose of that. And I will remove all of this, and I would say send payment to Emma Villes, like that. Okay. Okay, but let's say I kept something inside, but here it's meaningless, it's personal. So, but let's say I kept something inside, and here I'm just starting to type busy, and because I added it to my contact list, it's auto-filling for me. Okay, and I'm sending this to Beesy, and what it will do, it will create an action inside my Beesy into a mailbox here. Okay, every 2 minutes. So you might say, okay, what's the point of sending an email in my mailbox, which is already in my mailbox, into a busy mailbox? Well, the first thing is, you're right. I will show you how you can do even better. But the truth is, inside your mailbox, it's not a task. It's just a mail. Inside busy, it's a task. So you can assign it to someone. You can set a date and assign a status. Okay, set a status. So that's the first thing. But you can do much better. I will send an email to Busy and automatically classify things right from my email. So for example, I will send another one. Okay, let's say, okay, that's there's a small issue here with Evernote, and I will say check this Evernote issue, like that. And instead of doing this like that and sending it to Busy like I did earlier on, what I will do is I will classify this as a call. So I'm using a plus sign. I will assign this directly to my associate Chris so that it takes care of it and call this guy. Okay, and I will and I'm using the @ sign, a bit like Twitter. Okay, and I will assign this to Bugs Web, for example, to my project Bugs Web. Okay, Bugs Web, like that, for example. Okay, what this will do is just it will tell Busy to create an action, but make this a call, assign it to Chris, and assign it to this project, so that I don't have to do it again when I'm coming into Busy, and directly from my mailbox. Okay, and that's it. This I can put this in the right. I can class it, and that's done. Okay. So you can see send payment to Emma Villes. It's there. Okay. And I will check in Bugs Web if I have the one for Chris. It's not there yet. Why it's not there yet is because it's processed every 2 minutes. We process your emails every 2 minutes, so it will end up in directly in this Bugs Web project. Okay. Do you have any question there?
Yes, I've got one. Not about that, but so we can wait until the end if you like. I've got some earlier questions.
No, please, you can go on. That's fine. Here, okay, so it's there. Okay, check this Evernote issue. It's a call. You have the context of the email, and it's been assigned to Chris. Okay.
Yep.
And because Chris is working with me collaboratively, he received a notification in his Busy. He received an email notification, so he knows what he has to do on that. Okay.
Sorry, he got the email as well.
Yes. Not the email, but the content that I put in the action.
He gets
okay?
it. Yeah, he gets it there. Yeah, right.
Okay, he gets it there. And if he updates it, I will be able to see it.
David, how does he know that has just gone in? What highlights the fact to him that you've just done that?
So he will receive a notification in there.
Right.
Okay, so you see who has assigned actions to you. And on my side, you have some notification settings here.
Yeah.
Where you can say when an action is shared and assigned to you, send by email or shown web. So here I've just shown web. If I'm assigning to someone that doesn't have Busy, I'm sending an email and I will show on web when it's connecting. Okay, so I can decide whatever notification is receiving.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very simple.
Yeah.
So this way, basically, it's automating all the process of transforming your email into a task into Beesy, helping you classify this email right where you want. That means that you still know your project names and initials for people, but it's, well, fairly easy because most of the time you will assign to maybe 5 or 6 people or 10 people in your team. So it's not complex to remember 10 different initials. And the thing is, if you use Busy Team, the Busy Team service, it will automate as well the notification to Chris, so that if he updates it in his account, he will receive it in his account, be able to update it, and I will be notified, and I will receive the update in my own account as well when he will have updated it.
Right.
Okay.
Good. Yep.
I think for me, for now, that will be it. One little last thing that I want to say is that everything I've shown you there, it's meant for your own personal individual use. It's really meant at making your own workflow more productive every day. When you reach a point where when you like Busy and you're feeling confident with how it makes you more efficient every day, it's very easy to actually use Busy in a collaborative mode, so that you can actually start sharing projects together, right? It's as simple as a click of a button. So I will show you, for example, a shared project that someone else has created for me. It's highlighted here in blue. So this one, I know it's not me who created it, it's someone else. And you can see that most of the time it's Chris who is taking the action. So you can see the action is been creating in notes he took for me, with action assigned to me in green, and action he assigned to himself are in gray. There are some actions that I've been adding myself to the project, right? And to do this, so I have a global view on the project. Chris has the same view, so we share the same view on the project. And to do this is as simple as clicking on a button. So I'm going back to my webinar project here. So we have a project here, and to share it is very simple. I'm just clicking the sharing button, and Beesy will tell me, okay, which notes do you want to share? Very convenient to share the history on the project. So here I will share all notes, okay? And when I click on next, it's telling me with who do you want to share this project with, okay? So for example, if I'm clicking with Chris, I can share with Chris. I cannot share with you, Carol, or any other people in the webinar, because I don't have your email address set up in my own account. So I just need to have you as users to share. Okay. So I'm sharing with Chris. If I'm sharing with Chris by just clicking this share button, at some point it will indicate you that the project is shared, because it's actually green. So it's a project just shared. What this means is that Chris, without being to any meeting, attending anything, just receive everything from the project, okay? And is able to interact with the project. Now, every time Chris will add something to this project we share together, I will see it as well, okay? And it took me 2 clicks to activate it, okay?
Yep.
I think that's it. I've covered pretty much everything. Anyone ask question?
David, can you hear me? It's Darren.
Yes. Hi, Darren.
Hi. Just a few
It's okay with me. It's okay with me.
technical questions, really. Does it integrate at all with any other note-taking product like Evernote or similar?
Okay. If you're using it on iPad, we have an export to Evernote feature, where you can actually export your note to Evernote. True. It's something we have in our roadmap to have this on the platform, web platform as well, to be able here to export to Evernote as well.
Okay, and the other way, can you receive feed from Evernote?
We don't receive feed from Evernote today. No, we're not able to integrate Evernote Note into Busy, but that wouldn't make too much sense, because our goal, Darren, is to break a global note into smaller pieces, so that you can actually act on the smaller pieces and track them independently. So if you look at an Evernote note, it's a global note, right? It's a complete note. What we could do though is import those notes and maybe import actions from Evernote notes. Could be something we could think of.
Yeah, it's just more if you've been using Evernote for some period of time and there's obviously a lot of data in there that
Yeah.
you wanted to maybe integrate into this to drop Evernote. That's what.
Okay.
Why.
Okay. I understand. I completely understand. True.
And storage capacity. When you set up an account, is it unlimited in terms of data?
Okay.
How much?
Okay, very easy. Yeah, good question. You have unlimited capacity of storage, so we never will ask you to delete anything on our servers. The only thing is with the free account, you cannot upload more than 25 megs of attachment each month. Even though you can keep them forever. So if you update 25 megs every month, you can stay there, and you've been there for 4 years, we'll keep your data forever. And you cannot add more than 50 actions a month with the free account. Okay.
Okay.
If you use the Beesy Sync service, it's unlimited number of actions and up to 1 gigabyte of attachment every month.
Okay.
But again, with unlimited actions. So for example, if you have the Beesy Sync for 12 months, you can upload up to 12 gigs on our servers, and we will never ask you to delete anything.
Okay, thanks, David. Cheers.
Thanks. Thank you very much. Any other question?
Yeah. When you showed us the document and remind me to send the document out,
Yes.
can you not send that document straight out? Did you have to manually therefore go and send the document, or can you send it from Beesy?
No, you can send it from Beesy. It's going out from
Right.
Beesy. Okay, you don't have to send it yourself, of course. Otherwise, it's difficult. So if there is an attachment, it's sent when you send the attachment. If you don't want to
Right.
send the document, you just edit the property. You mark this as private, and you can see it's a bit dim now. It won't be
Yep.
sent in the minutes. If there are no more questions, I'm available on my email if you need anything. If you have issues, just let me know. I'll be glad to answer by email. Just let me know. Okay.
Great. That's
Thank you
lovely.
for your time.
And thank you, David.
Thank you, Carol.
Thanks,
Bye,
David.
everybody. Thanks. Cheers. Bye bye.
Bye then.
Bye.